Once upon a time, there was an old mother pig who had 3 little pigs, and not enough food to feed them. So when they were old enough, she sent them out into the world. Each pig built their own house. The first one made it out of straw, the second built it out of sticks, and the third out of bricks. One day, a wolf happened to pass by the lane where the 3 little pigs lived. So he knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me have your organs." Wait a second, that's not how I remember this story going. This must be the 2023 abridged version, because this is what we are using pigs for in 2023.
For the first time ever, a man with a life-threatening heart disease successfully received a new heart from a genetically modified pig.
PETA, you might want to close your ears on this one. Scientists are modifying pig DNA so that their organs can be used as transplant organs for humans in need. But make no mistake, this isn't a sudden breakthrough in biotech. We're closer than ever to a viable path to saving hundreds of thousands of people, but the path to get there has been a fascinating succession of twists and turns. So what's going on here? Is this a Herculean effort by modern medicine to come up with a solution to a problem that has led to thousands of unnecessary deaths? Or is this just a step in the wrong direction that will lead to nothing but animal abuse and more lost human lives? Let's find out.
Bizarre but potentially groundbreaking proposal.
Growing human organs inside genetically altered pigs.
We believe that the pig is the perfect model to solve the human organ shortage problem.
Over 150,000 people receive an organ transplant every year. 100,000 are on the waiting list, and 17 people die every day waiting for one. With so much demand for organ transplants and so much death, researchers have been searching for a solution to this problem for decades. Because although there are tons of people who technically are organ donors, only 3 people out of every 1,000 die in a way that allows for organ transplantation. So scientists are deleting, adding, replacing DNA sequences, making pigs more human-like in hopes that their organs are less likely to be rejected. But this isn't the first time animal organs and tissue have been used in an attempt to solve this problem. The idea was researched all the way back in the early 1900s, when doctors attempted to replace failing organs with organs from animals like goats, lambs, pigs, and even monkeys. Every single one failed almost immediately. Research stopped, and scientists began to investigate why the project was such a failure. It wasn't until 1944 when Peter Medawar discovered that transplanted tissues cause an immune response from our bodies. As you probably know, our bodies attempt to protect us from disease-causing pathogens like viruses and bacteria by initiating an immune response and attacking these harmful cells. Unfortunately, the same thing was happening in transplant recipients. The immune system was recognizing donor tissue as foreign objects and attacking them as if they were unsafe. This new knowledge doesn't mean we restarted these experiments. Don't get me wrong, doctors were still adamant about preventing deaths from organ failure, but the world of animal organ transplants remained stagnant, and expected to be for the foreseeable future. That is, until the early 1960s, when we created immunosuppressive drugs. Remember those immune responses we had before when we tried to transplant animal organs? Well, now we've got drugs that hold back that immune response, meaning the race was back on. Doctors began investigating whether immunosuppressive drugs could be used to prevent rejection of animal organs. One doctor transplanted kidneys from baboons into 6 humans, and the patients survived varying times, with the longest living 98 more days. And we've been attempting these transplants ever since. It was never put fully into practice outside of research, however, because it didn't work that well. Every person that received an implant really only got a small extension of life, giving them 1 to 3 months. Obviously, we'd like something that works as a long-term solution, letting the patient live for another 30 or so years. But unfortunately, it took about another 30 years of research to make any sort of progress. Enter CRISPR.
A revolutionary technology called CRISPR.
The CRISPR-Cas9 system is a tool for cutting DNA at a specifically targeted location.
Gene editing technology comes into play. The research started in the early 90s, but made massive leaps and bounds with the CRISPR-Cas9 tool introduced in 2012. This tool allowed us to locate specific genetic sequences in an organism and cut the DNA's double helix so that sequences can be deleted, added, or replaced. This made gene editing faster, easier, and more precise, which was absolutely perfect for our xenotransplantation experiments. I've been holding that word back from you because it's a doozy. Xenotransplantation. Imagine learning English for the first time and your teacher drops the word xenotransplantation on you. I think I'd quit right then and there. Anyway, by this point, we know exactly why pig organs are being rejected by our bodies. Pig organs, while similar in size and functionality to ours, have a sugar molecule that humans do not. It's called alpha-gal. Our bodies see that sugar molecule and it freaks out. It's like, what is that? Kill it. So now, with CRISPR, we can go into pig DNA and continuously try to knock out that alpha-gal. We've also added some human DNA into these pigs so that our immune system is less angry and more just confused. Like, I feel like this is familiar DNA, but I'm still a little freaked out. Eventually, the hope is we'll have genetically engineered pigs that have no alpha-gal molecule, and we can just transplant organs without a problem. But this isn't without criticism. Along with this technology comes a slew of moral dilemmas that people have been quick to point out. Some of those are, how will we ensure that the living conditions of the donor animals are kept up to standard? These animals will most likely be kept in conditions that fail to meet the needs dictated by the animal's biological and psychological natures. For example, a pig organ donor won't be kept in the same conditions as farm pigs because farm pigs have a much higher chance of getting diseases. They're in there rolling in mud, eating who knows what, and I don't think that you want an organ from one of those pigs. So will Wilbur be kept in some sort of weird pig lab dystopia to ensure that his organs don't get sick? Is that fair to the pig? Or what about this? Is it morally acceptable to kill thousands of pigs in research and then as organ donors for as long as this technology is used for organ transplantation? All these are questions that future scientists and regulators will have to ask themselves. So let me know in the comments whether or not you would take a pig organ or if you're still a little sketched out about the morals of all of this. Finn, thanks for watching.